I got back into FIFA. I haven't played FIFA in ages. I was playing FIFA 2015 for a while because that's the good FIFA I liked. I bought FIFA 20, doing the virtual pro, and that's kind of fun.
I didn't even know FIFA was on Switch.
Hmm. They released it on Switch, and then I think recently they did it, and then the commentators and stuff is all good. There's some weird, like people said, there's some weird bugs in the game, but you know what? It's easy to play virtual pro. It's got training methods, so it's nice and easy. I just need to get back into Smash and then practice
Yes.
again.
Yes. So you don't get
Revenge.
wrecked next time.
Yes, I'd like to get wrecked in the good way, where it's like, oh, you'll do better next time, not what you doing, dude.
And I guess on that, welcome to episode 4 of What's the Logic in That? I am Tom.
Yes, welcome everyone. I am Dean.
There we go. Very awkward
Yeah.
start, but who cares?
Yeah,
Let's
it's
just
fine.
get cracking. Do you want to bring up that spin wheel? Let's have a
Yes,
look at
I'll
what we got on
bring up.
today.
Yeah, the spin wheel of topics.
The spin wheel of topics. Here we go. Da 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 da.
Ooh, straight in there.
Straight in there. Is there life out there? And if there is, would you rather it be organic or robotic? I'll let you kick off with this one.
All right.
That is a very philosophical question.
Yeah. In terms of the universe, of course there must be life out there. I think it's very impossible that we're the only life forms out there. I guess if you're talking about intelligent life, it's hard to say, but we're only a planet in this galaxy. There's so many other galaxies. There's probably others doing the same as us, trying to reach out. Do I believe it's organic or robotic? Maybe a combination of both. I'm assuming that whatever's out there will have far advanced technology than us. But I almost feel like if it was a case where they were more primitive to us, we'd get the similar things of the past that happened to humans happening to them, where we take advantage of them in some way.
Yes. I don't know if I agree with you. I feel like if there is life, I agree that there's probably life out there. But I feel like it's probably, if it is robotic, then it's evolved from organic. In a similar way that will probably happen to us eventually. AI will probably take over at some point.
So AI or cyborgs, like, I mean, you can get prosthetics that are mechanical now, and I've seen some new robotic legs as well. You can go a step further.
It's going the way of Deus Ex.
Yes, it is. It is.
We'll get there.
Have
eventually.
you seen that? It was by a Boston University. That dog robot.
Yes. Yeah,
that is now actually on sale.
It's on
Yes.
sale. Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
I think it's 50 grand for the basic side,
Only 50
or
grand.
75,000. But then for the applications you can use it for every advance in technology, there's always a negative.
Yeah.
There's so much bad fucking stuff you can do with that.
Yeah.
I mean, the pros of it, like, I can see it helping people, like, let's say an elderly person, that robot can go side by side and help carry their shopping. You can actually put
weight on it. Yeah, you can put a
Yes.
significant amount of weight on them, can't
Exactly, and it would follow the older person with them. It can assist carers, I guess, in a way as well, or assist in emergencies. And there's always a negative side to that. But yeah, humans evolving into machines. Are you thinking sort of? And you say Deus Ex. Are you thinking also like Ghost in the Shell type as well, where we still got our brains, but our bodies are cybernetic?
Yes, I think so. I think that's probably the way of the future. But it's going to get to a point where the human body, or the idea of the human body, is a limitation. I think at the moment, because we're trying to imitate. When we think of a cybernetic or a cyborg, then it's always an imitation of a human, right, or a human body. But is that really our final form? Is that really the the most effective form for a human, or for a
That
human mind.
that is true. I was wondering this for a while as well. I know we're getting away about life out there, but in terms of evolution, I'm sure like there's always like creatures evolving, insects and everything else, everything adapting to their environment. So smaller evolution changes, so they can adapt to certain things. I mean, humans can adapt to most things right now, but maybe there'll be a time where something will affect us and we have to adapt again, and that's when the change is going to happen.
Yeah, but even then, like that changes. It's going to happen over probably hundreds of thousands of years, isn't it?
That or potentially soon, depending on war talks and
Yeah,
stuff
well, yeah, I
like
see what you mean. Like, if it is like a cybernetic adaptation that we need to make, we could theoretically speed up the process of evolution like significantly.
yes.
And then when you think of things like CRISPR and DNA mutations and rearranging it
Hmm.
and splicing different types of DNA to potentially in some respect give yourself superpowers, like enhancing your strength or giving you regenerative. I can't say it. Regenerative. Is that right?
I think that sounds good. I can't
Cool.
say it.
Giving yourself healing abilities.
Yes.
Like being able to regrow limbs and stuff.
Yeah, there's that, and then I feel there's also. I think I said this to someone in the past. It was for certain people with you'd call them disabilities, like blind people. Their sense of hearing is ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
because they have
then
to
those
rely on
who
it.
have developed echolocation as well of their own with clicking.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it's always going to be unethical, but if you analyze a person day and out who has developed echolocation, and then you could take that trait and put it into a person with sight.
Yeah.
Of course, there's always going to be war applications to everything, but like if you could do that, any sort of thing like deaf people are very visual. If you can adapt, take everything they could take in to a normal human, which we always rely on certain things we notice, whatever. But if anyone who has a disability, all the other senses increase.
Yeah, they're heightened.
But if you took that and put that into someone else,
and heightened.
even before,
Yeah.
even before like cybernetics, I think that's kind of crazy as well.
That is it's a crazy thought, isn't it? Just what is potentially possible.
Yeah, and some people have accidentally stumbled across it. There was a group of people who had certain conditions, like I think it was a girl. I don't know which country it was. She was jumping off the garage roof of her home, and one time she did it, she cracked her knees. But she did it in such a way she affected her nervous system, so she does not feel pain. She doesn't get the pain in her anymore to stop her from doing something. And there's others like that where they have to be careful when they eat hot food because they won't know they're scalding their mouth.
Realize that it's actually burning their skin.
Yeah, so it's almost like you'd have to damage yourself so that you can proceed to the next stage.
That's a scary thought, not being able to feel pain.
Yeah, it's scary in so many levels. Not knowing that, oh shit, I'm messed up. Because I get scared of the simplest stuff. Like when I've got a dead leg and then I step down on it, I'm worried if I step a wrong way. I don't feel it now, but as soon as the senses come back, I've realized I've broken my ankle or something.
Yeah, that would be awful, not being able to feel anything. Or, not being able to test if water was too hot before.
Yeah, or feel the
in.
cold elements, and then you suddenly have hypothermia and you have no idea. And your body's shutting down, but you have no control over it.
Yeah, because you're just unaware that it's so cold or it's painful. That's really disturbing when you think about it, not being able to do that.
It is, yeah. And then there's other things like those divers who dive for a competition with one breath. They enhance their lungs and stuff over training and stuff, and they got bodybuilders and stuff, and other people like even simpler stuff like arm wrestling. They train themselves in a certain way. Doesn't matter what size.
Doesn't matter your size. It's the technique, isn't it? Being able to It's
And
sort
like,
of like Matrix style. You just
yeah,
you can just implement, or you download new abilities into yourself.
I was wondering about that. If we did get to a stage of some sort of true immersive VR, and you learnt something in VR in terms of muscle memory, could your brain apply it to your body, or would it be impossible?
That's a very good point.
I mean, if it was something like martial arts, you could probably remember the motions, but your real body's not used to the movements yet, I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you had some sort of stimulus at the same time, like every time you did an action, your muscles would feel a stimulus,
But
like a shock, or like like those ab workers you get, the
yeah,
electric
yeah, yeah,
ones.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some sort of shock. So every time you did a movement, you'd get a shock in a certain muscle pattern. That's the same as what you're seeing and learning. So in real life, your body already reacts.
Yeah. Have you seen Ready Player One?
Yes.
It's a bit like that, isn't it? Like where they have that full body suit and it.
Yes, and then on the next level to that is the Japanese animation series Sword Art Online with they have a full dive technology which is completely virtual, where all the signals from the brain is stopped and put into their avatar in game.
Completely connected. Is it the
Yeah,
same? I haven't seen it or read the manga if there is manga for it. Um, but
it's
is that like when you die in VR, you die in real life? It like disconnects your brain.
it's part of the plot for the first season. It's not a spoiler. It's part of the plot where they enter the game and there's no logout, and the systems they're using for full dive have a microchip and a battery, and if they die in the game, um, the game master, the guy who controlled it, it would cause the headset they're using to cause an electric shock to fry their brain. But
Oh,
otherwise, no. But there would be certain things in later ones where pain sensors and stuff, so you know you could affect your real body after a while.
okay, okay.
hmm
I see what you mean. So
Um,
should we loop back to?
yeah, let's look back. I mean, there's traces. Did they find like traces of like water being on Mars or previously being on Mars?
Yeah. So there's like big lakes of big empty
hmm
lakes of where there used to be running water on Mars,
Yeah. So
and then
if
there's ice caps at the top with like the
yeah,
poles and
so
stuff.
if you're talking about unintelligent life, so let's talk about like bacteria and stuff like that. And one I like thinking about is, have you seen that film, The Martian, with Matt Damon,
Yes.
where he can actually grow stuff there and then these different sciences and whatnot? So I'm thinking maybe that is possible. And there's always the scary side. You always get the scary side of like the bad aliens or whatever. There's always like a bad alien things like that groups the nation together against one enemy. But it's possible there is an organism which takes us off the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
It could even be here on this planet and we haven't discovered yet.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
in
who's to
the
say that we're not alien to this planet?
That is true. There's theories about that as well because I think the link between the early man or woman, human, they don't have. There's still a missing link. They haven't found the skeleton yet. They found all sort of other stages, but the one just before us they have not found on any continent,
Hmm.
which is curious. Like, why is it that if they can find all these others and this one's more recent, it should be more intact?
You would have thought it'd be easier to find.
Because it's intact more than the rest. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they found they called it the first woman. Is it Lucy?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
They're frozen. Like, am I thinking of the right thing?
I
The
don't
skin
know if
intact
it's
and
true.
everything, or am I thinking of it?
I don't know if it was the full skeleton structure, but they found that. But then the stage after that, no one has it. No one knows where it is. And even if you think about when they talk about continental drift, where it was all one continent before,
Yeah.
they can't find it.
Yeah.
So that's why
weird.
people assume like aliens, and then I don't know if it's also including like certain drawings from way back on that could potentially say about aliens.
Yeah. You did like hieroglyphics and stuff, and
hmm
cave drawings. They could potentially
Yeah.
point in that sort of direction.
Do you, instead of let's say intelligent life forms and stuff, would you think there's a higher power out there?
Well, like some kind of religious deity. or do you
maybe,
mean like a cosmic?
or like Prometheus, something that helped to create.
I don't know. I don't think so. But like, even then, we'll never know within our lifetime, and
No,
nobody
and
probably ever will who was ever human.
I almost feel like it's unethical, but I really do want to take maybe one of each species and take them out of their environment into a chosen environment and just see what happens. It will take a long time, but if you can speed up evolution, just to see, is it really happening right now? So I'm sure if you took a species out of its environment and forced it into a harsher one, but gave it resources to live, it would change, and then its offspring would change after that because they'll adapt from that.
Yeah, but it would take like thousands of years and stuff. So I don't know, maybe. And also, I'd say you probably need two of each species, male, female. Yeah, but
Definitely.
you know, it would take thousands of years for it to, or maybe even millions of years. And at that point, it's very unethical to. But then again, if you left them on another planet, they can breathe and stuff. Maybe that's what happened to us. Maybe we're just some aliens experiment.
Yeah, like maybe it's just like organisms were left here, and this is what we came up from.
Yeah,
because something else put it here. Just like we're probably trying to experiment elsewhere.
Yeah, we will never be able to tell, or not within our lifetimes.
No, and it also looks back to the Matrix effect.
Yeah, exactly.
How do we even know?
How do you know that this isn't
a repeat of something?
Yeah,
because all we've got is history books. We don't have technology back then.
Yeah, exactly.
That can record it fully.
We don't know. And the other thing is, when you wake up in the morning, or when you're alive right now, how do you know that everything that happened before you didn't just come into be? How do you know that you are you, and that everything prior to right now hasn't just that's just coming to existence immediately?
Yes. So like is that quantum physics? Or am I thinking the right thing?
Quantum
Scratching's cat sort of thing.
Yeah.
Scratching's cat. But then there's also I think, what if everything we're doing now is a different dream?
Yeah.
Or a different parallel world or whatever.
Yeah. How do you know the world that you wake up in the morning isn't different to the one that you went to sleep in?
Yeah.
What is consciousness?
Yes, and what if this is a big word? What if we're dreaming now, and our actual dreams, which we call dreams, are us in the real environments, and people are trying to wake us up because we're all in comas?
Oh, that's deep. That's super deep.
It makes you think, like, no, but because you have lucid dreams when, like, we call lucid dreams, where they almost seem real and you can take control of it. Is that when you're awake, or you're nearly awake, or remembering when you're really awake?
And who you really are.
And somehow through another technology, because we're talking about organic and robotic life, we're all forced into a dream state at the same time, so we can interact with each other. That's almost like the Matrix as well.
Human batteries.
You're human batteries, and we're all talking and stuff, but we actually got our real lives as well, but we'll all come back to the same place.
I'm just waiting for Agent Smith to burst through the door.
Yeah.
And seal my mouth up. I guess we should probably move on. We've spent quite a bit of time on that.
Yes. Yeah. So I believe there's intelligent life out there, and they would have maybe primitive or more advanced technology, but you say there'll be a higher form of that.
Yeah, I believe so. I think if we're ever going to encounter any intelligent life, then they will be of a higher form than us. I'm not negating the fact that there probably is more primitive life out there somewhere, but I doubt within our lifetimes or within the next 10,000, 100,000 years we'll ever encounter them. I think there's more of a chance of somebody coming to us than we are to go to them.
I believe so. With how we are as a species.
Yeah.
We couldn't negotiate a way to equally all try to learn it. Or someone's going to always try to benefit from something.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way we're going to agree.
We're just so self-destructive as a species that we're never going to get to the point where we could ever go and, explore the stars.
And work together, yeah.
Yeah.
We could only work together if there was a global threat.
Yeah.
And even then, we're still going to fight over stuff.
Yeah, there'd still be infighting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what's the outcome after? Or something like that.
Who gets what?
Yeah.
Okay, are you gonna bring up the spin wheel of doom?
Yes, I will.
Here we go. Okie dokie, what are we going to be talking about next? Pet peeves. Repeating myself.
Yes.
Repeating myself for a 5th time.
What do you say, Tom?
What? What did you say, Dean? What was that?
Huh?
That really annoys me.
Yes.
It annoyed me when you just said that, and that was after one time. So, yeah.
Yeah, do you want to start this one off?
Yeah, sure. So, I guess the worst thing with this is, and it's when it's not controllable as well, is when you're like on the phone with somebody and it keeps on cutting out. I hate the opposite side of this too, where you have to ask several times. So can you repeat what you just said? Yeah, no, it cut out. Can you just repeat that again? And you keep on going through that. That I feel bad, but I also feel really annoyed at the same time. Like I feel annoyed that I'm having to ask this. Like,
yes.
If the signal is bad, move to somewhere where it's not bad.
Yes. Or try another method.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or can we just call in a different way just so we can... Because we had this the other day, didn't we? Actually, thinking about this. We literally had an example of this.
I think it was on the 3rd time, which is almost like a golden rule. The 3rd time, it's like, no, let's try something else. Up to 3 times is a sort of limit.
Yes.
And then it's
like,
either...
let's new solution, let's do something else, let's try something different. This isn't working, move on.
Likewise, if someone's telling me, like if someone told me their name and I'm like, what? And they say it again, I'm like, what? And then someone comes to the 3rd time, it's no longer polite to ask again. I just have to agree.
Yeah.
And hope somewhere down, hopefully if we're in a group of people, someone will say the name or I can confide in someone and say, oh,
what was the name?
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Yes. Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. Explaining myself a 5th time is what the real thing is about. I don't mind explaining something to someone because everyone takes things down in a different way. Either it's visual or in a audio sensory way, or it's through written instructions. Like, so you show them a practical, they view the instructions, or they listen on. It's a combination of those. But when I've gone through all those methods, which is normally the 5th time, that's when I lose my patience. So I've done my best to make you understand what I'm trying to get across to you. What more can I do? And that's when I can't tolerate it after that.
I am a firm believer of twice is good enough. Purely because the first time you should be taking notes. Right? I don't care if you're taking notes the whole way through and I have to slow down to explain what different bits might mean. You should take notes. Second time, I want you to do it and I want you to ask me questions about what's happening. If you get stuck at some point, if you can't refer back to your notes, or you encounter something different, then by all means ask. When it's the 3rd time after I've showed you how to do it twice, and you still can't grasp the concept of it, then ideally at that point, I feel like you should take yourself back and do some of your own research.
Yeah, I feel this a lot. We're mostly speaking in an IT environment for everyone who's listening and watching.
Yeah.
But in general terms, you probably get this when you're giving directions to someone, whether it's on the phone or anywhere else. If you're face to face, if you tell them walk down this street, turn left, and then you have to gauge how they can understand. And once you have that, then you have to explain it in a new way. And when they still don't get it, it's like good luck.
Yeah.
Or sometimes if you feel really bad for them, you end up taking them to wherever it is, or half the way, and showing them, yeah, it's actually that.
Yeah. I think directions and stuff is a lot easier to do in person. You can sort of point. It's like, oh yeah, go down there, take a right, and follow that road. Whereas if you say, go down X road, take right, follow that road down till you go there. If you say that over the phone, it's a bit more difficult to sort of
Yeah.
comprehend.
To be honest, like going off topic with maps and stuff, I know where I'm going. If you ask me how I got there, I could not tell you. I'm just a sort of my legs take me. It's a memory,
Yeah,
and I sort of know where I'm going. I couldn't tell you unless I had the map up.
yeah, no, I'm the same. You know, I go there once, maybe use Google Maps or something to get me there. Then after that, I can sort of find my way back there. I just walk,
Yeah.
which is find
But
my
as
way.
soon as someone asks you like which way did you take, like then you
I've
try,
no idea.
then you sort of filter through. Were there any landmarks? By the Tesco, which one? It's like, oh god, yeah, I don't know.
See, I'm oblivious to stuff like that. I'll walk past things 1,000 times and never sort of pick up on the fact that I've gone past it.
Really?
Yeah, unless it's like something significant, like oh, there was this big Ferris wheel or tower or something that was branded. Then you know, maybe I'll pick up
Yeah.
on that. But if I go past the shop, I'm not going to register whether it's a Tesco or not.
Got you. Yeah. The other side of repeating myself was like you said, when you're asking people you have to ask them again. I don't like when they lose patience after the first time. I think that's so unfair
Yes.
in any conversation because it could be where I am is very loud, and I will explain that to the person. I'll say, look, it's very loud here. I've moved away. Can you say it again? It's like, oh, I'm not repeating myself. So I wasn't being rude. I was honestly trying to listen to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't ask you to repeat yourself again.
So, I'm not helping you. Goodbye.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah.
I find people like that insufferable. It's because at the end of the day, especially in our jobs, more than likely we're just trying to help somebody.
Yes.
And if you're essentially just giving the finger and saying, "Ah, no, I'm not making this easier. I'm going to make
Yes.
this difficult." And if you're going to be
Yeah.
like that from the get-go, then I know exactly what kind of problem this is going to be. It's going to be your
Yeah.
problem. It's going to be a user problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it always is.
It will have been something they've done, and they will never admit that they've done it.
Oh god, yeah. When people don't admit their mistakes, I know it's a pride thing most times, but I'd rather people get over the pride faster than later.
Yes.
You know, like when I've made a mistake and I acknowledge that I've made the mistakes, I find out like, oh crap, I've made the mistake. I will admit it, even
Exactly.
if it was like the biggest screw up and it causes so many problems for people and I'm in the wrong really bad.
Yeah.
It's just on my conscience.
It-
I have to say it.
The thing I find with stuff like that is, especially if me not admitting to something is going to cause more of an issue. Like if I don't say I did this is what I did, and this is how I did it. Yes, it was wrong. Then it's going to lead people potentially down different paths, and it will take longer for that to be resolved.
Yeah.
So
and
why
then,
not just admit, oh, you know, I did this, my bad.
Yeah,
I did
exactly.
this.
But then I never admit it in the way of like I'm proud of the shit I did.
Yeah.
I'm always got the humble approach about it because I always like to learn from my mistakes. Whether or not like people have a go at me or not, as long as you've told me once, most likely I won't make the mistake again. Or if I do, it's not going to be very soon.
Yeah, and I feel like that there is like a great point as well. It's like if you make a mistake once and somebody has taken the time to show you how to do it properly, and you make that same mistake again without questioning what you're doing, then you clearly weren't listening properly the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
And you didn't care enough that you'd made a mistake to want to
Yeah.
rectify it.
Yeah, and yeah, in the whole approach of I tried doing it like that, or like you said, I tried going where you told me, and it was like that's a complete different approach than sorry, I know you told me already, but I'm here at this point. Where do I go next? That's a completely different approach. I feel
Yes.
it shows that you maybe you weren't listening properly, or you did listen and you forgot.
Yeah.
But at least you're
You took initiative.
trying.
You
Different mindsets.
ended up. You may have not ended up at the right place, but at least you've got the sense to ask questions.
Yes.
You know, I'm here. Can you help me get to?
Yeah,
to this
there's the
point?
three. There's the three types. There's the ones who don't try at all. The ones who admit that maybe they've gone off somewhere but they need help again. Then the ones who just don't want to ask again, and it causes a bigger problem than the people who made the mistake in the first place.
Yeah.
Just holding on to it and like not turning up somewhere or not doing what you're meant to be doing or anything else. That's the worst. Whenever in doubt, just ask. I mean, asking the question can be forgiven. I mean, but after like I said, the fifth time, then you're pissing me off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let's crack on with the third topic of the day,
Yeah.
which will hopefully be something a little less negative. I feel like so far we've been philosophical and negative, so hopefully something a bit lighter this time to sort of hopefully about cows. Cows would be nice.
Shout out to Muba.
Shout out to Muba.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. What's the spin wheel got for us this time? Hey, there we go. There's a fun topic.
Alright, so I cannot read analog clocks properly. How old are you, Dean? No, it has nothing to do with my age or anything else, or how stupid or smart I am. I've had this difficulty since year 2 in school. We had clock problems in maths class, and looking at those lines just screwed me up. Even now, if I look at that clock, it messes me up. Tom saw part of it. I told him the time. He said that was fairly quick, and I said I practiced. It still took me a few minutes. And then the other day, I was telling my missus the time, and I said it was. I said to her the time was 4:30, and it was actually 2 something. So yeah, I have serious problems with reading the time. It takes me a long time. It's especially embarrassing when I need to know the time and my phone's dead and people show me their watches and I have to ask them to read it for me.
Oh
Yeah,
dear.
I guess it's only other little kids who have this problem. But I face it's a big challenge in my life, and I've been trying to improve.
What do you are you fine with like digital clocks then?
Yeah, of course they're numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand the numbers and the whole sense of time. It's just I find it very difficult to read hands.
Right.
Like if it's even if it's a clock with like the whole number system, 12, 1, 2, 3, all the way back round to 11, then 12 again, I have issues with the hands. The hands throw me off.
A scientific word for this? Like dyslexia, dyscloxia, or something like that?
Possibly, I've never researched
because I've only ever heard of you having this issue.
I'm doing a quick Google search. Issues with reading analog clocks, adults.
I guess another sort of follow-on to this as well is...
signs and symptoms. Common symptoms of dyscalculia.
Dyscalculia.
are difficulties with mental math, trouble analyzing time, and reading an analog clock. Dyscalculia. Yeah, I'll actually share the screen on this.
Yeah, this is an interesting topic. Dyscalculia. It sounds like a vampire, doesn't it?
Yeah, do you see it here?
Dyscalculia.
Yeah, so issues with reading analog clocks, struggling with motor sequencing in voice numbers. I actually do have issues with easy math sometimes. It kind of throws me off. I do get there eventually. I mean, I was good in normal math studies in school. I got an A in maths, but when it got to like college maths and all the nonsense stuff, which is used for engineers, that threw me off completely. I couldn't finish an equation unless someone started it, but I could finish it off, you know. Dyscalculia.
This is really interesting.
I'm guessing I have this. I didn't know this was the thing. Wow. Poor memory retention. Wow. A lot of these are hitting.
Dean has just self-diagnosed himself with dyscalculia on the internet.
Hypochondriac alert. No, I believe a lot of these actually mistaken recollection of names, inability to concentrate. No, some of these actually tick boxes. Honestly,
A warped sense of spatial awareness.
no, I'm very spatial aware. If it, I'm trying to find one about missing items or placing stuff.
Oh,
Poor memory.
I do that.
Poor memory retention or retrieval mascot may be able to perform maths one day.
Draw a blank the next. This is really interesting.
Yeah, I guess I have this calcula.
Oh, dyscalculia.
Calcula?
Dyscalculia. I don't know. Is there like one of those magic things that reads it out for you? Because did we both read it as dyscalculia? Because it doesn't look like
Doesn't Wiki normally have? Yeah, I understand what that says.
Oh
right
yes.
There. Dyscalculia.
It's got a J in it.
Yeah. Wow. Estimates of the prevalence of it between 3 and 6% of the population.
That's
what?
A lot.
But I've never met anyone with the same issue unless they were younger kids in school, like talking about it. Like, also have ADHD. I don't think I do. Wow.
Okay. It's a bigger thing than it's a lifetime thing, so it's not something you technically grow out of.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing for now. Yeah, I'm guessing I have to do some research into this.
You could do a period of self-discovery is in order.
Yeah, I guess so, just to see what else it is. Cause I mean, I did use words when I was younger, as well. So maybe it's linked to that too. Memory of pronunciations and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
That's. I'm happy to learn. I'm not the only one.
What's the logic in that?
3%. What's the logic in that? 3% or 6% of the population of the similar thing. Well, I don't feel alone anymore. I thought I was just an idiot. But you know,
it turns out 3 to 6% of the population are idiots.
Yeah, I'm not stupid. Cool. So I feel happy.
Good.
I'm gonna find my group.
Good.
I'm gonna do the
find
modern
those people
thing.
and you
I'm gonna
join
find
them.
my group. I'm gonna find my Instagram. It's gonna be the clock I can't read, and that's the thing I'm gonna click on. And we're gonna discuss clocks.
The Clock Podcast, coming soon. Sponsored by What's the Logic in That?
Yeah. Episode 1. What time is it now, Dean? And then we'll talk about that.
We've got 60 minutes to figure out what time it is. We've got a team of 5 people here, all raring to go, and they're struggling. Okay, I was going to lead on from clocks to talking about Americans, which is my second favorite thing to do. They hate what they call military time, and what we would call a 24-hour clock. Apparently, that's not a thing there, like as often as it is over here, because for some reason they do AM PM a lot. I mean, we say it's 4 PM or it's 9 PM, but they don't have 24-hour clocks.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. I guess you wouldn't say, oh, it's 1600 hours or
yeah, we're not going to say
hours.
that.
You don't
but
say that.
That's how it would read. Yeah.
Yeah. Our clocks would be, I mean, my machine here, it says I know it's 9:01 right now.
Yeah, 9:01. Right?
But it says 21:01, but I just know it's 9:01.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
see what's so difficult about that.
Leading up to that, I noticed certain people have a difficulty understanding us when we talk about time, because we use 1/4 or 1/4 or 10 to and stuff, and people who aren't used to the UK terms for time like that have no idea what we're fucking talking about.
Yeah. This is because the question about that is, at what point is it because you don't say it's 40 minutes to 9, right? You say it's 20 past 8.
So I think that the latest I go is 20 past, or it's
Or
20 minutes to something.
Yeah.
If it becomes any higher than that, then I say the actual time.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's
Or
8:26.
or like if it's like 4 minutes past 1, I'll say it's 1:05 or 5 minutes past.
Yeah.
I'll round up to the nearest 5.
Yeah, I was
Or the
about to
nearest
ask about rounding and stuff, because like if it's like 12:43, then I'll just say, oh yes, it's
12:45.
quarter to 1,
Yeah, yeah.
12:45. You know.
Yeah, if it's any lower, then it'll just be like, oh, it's 40 past.
Yeah.
If it's like 1 or 2 minutes after it's 3, I believe it goes up. That's how I do it.
That's round it up after 3, or round it up after 8, or whatever.
Yeah. After 8's a nice chocolate.
Oh yes, I haven't had an after 8 in years. We always used to have them at Christmas.
Where are they? Are they only around on Christmas now? I don't know if you remember them, but they used to. So my family used to tape a lot of stuff like from cable and whatnot, or Motown stuff onto VHS. And you used to have the old school After 8 commercials. And it was a full commercial. They have dinner and stuff. Then they'll bring out the After 8, and it's like, you shouldn't have.
You shouldn't have.
Honestly.
I do think I remember seeing stuff like that. Probably not the same ones. But yeah, like where they bring it after dinner, everybody's shocked.
Oh, yeah, I've not had
After
an After
8s.
8. The closest thing I've had is when I've been to an Asian restaurant. Not all Asian restaurants, or some. I think like Monkey and Me, which is a brilliant Thai restaurant just off Baker Street, by the way. They always give you a little mint chocolate.
Yes, yeah. With the bill, you always get like a little.
Or
mint
like
chocolate.
I don't know if it's in a lot of hotels in America, but like a lot of like sitcoms and stuff, they talk about like chocolate mints on the pillows and stuff like that. It's almost like a service thing.
Yeah, it's like a. Yeah, but I don't get it. Where would that have come from? Because
yeah, and I guess that leads up to the After 8 as well, because you've just done dinner for your guests. It's never for like your family; it's for guests, and then you offer them an After 8.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a service thing. But where does giving a chocolate to someone, not a dessert,
mint chocolate,
a minty chocolate, so it's like a freshener of the breath, but sweet at the same time.
Oh, maybe that is it. Maybe that's right. Maybe it's to freshen your breath after. I don't know. That just sounds weird, but like maybe because
freshen it, but not with like the strong peppermint, but like a nicer, fresher taste.
A dulled down sort of slightly minty, refreshed breath.
But then, modern day now, wouldn't you have like in certain dinners you'd maybe have a drink of it, or you'd wash your palate out, or you'd have a certain dessert which would clash or be sharp and reverse with your main, and then you'd have a different taste in your palate after.
And surely if the food was good, then you'd want to keep that taste in your mouth.
Yeah, not so much as like, I've seen this on sitcoms. I think it was in Big Bang Theory. The guy with the lisp who comes in, he was talking about freeing up pockets of food in his teeth for the new food so he could enjoy it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think it was Bowie. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think I've seen much of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, After 8's been a service thing. I think there's some link to it. There must be.
There's got to be some sort of correlation. I just can't think of what it would be. We can have that as a topic. Put that on the wheel. What are After 8s for?
Yes. Why is it only After 8?
And we could do a bit of research. Why? But it isn't always technically After 8.
No, it's not. No. Go do research.
We need to find out.
Yes. Well, actually, I think we'll bring that into the next one then.
Yes.
Not like next topic, but we'll bring it in at some point.
That'll be on the spin wheel at some point.
Yes.
It will go in our notes. We will find out the answer. Or we won't, and we'll be willfully unprepared, and we'll be having the same discussion again 10 episodes down the line.
Yes.
I think that's more likely.
Yeah, I think that is most likely. You ready to move on? Have you got more clock stuff to confuse me?
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. My problem with doing this podcast is that we start talking about something, and then we end up finishing on something else completely. I've forgotten what we were talking about by the time we finished.
Yeah, that's why I've got to loop back every time.
Even though that we were talking about after eights, I just had chocolate in my mind. I was like, we were talking about chocolate. But no, we were talking about clocks. And specifically,
Yeah.
you can't read analog clocks.
Yes, but I took it there. Sorry, because you said 8 or something, or how many minutes after 8, and I said after 8 chocolates,
Oh,
and then it went on
yes.
from there.
Yes.
I just whispered it in, and it took over your mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very easily influenced
By chocolate.
by anything. Okay, yes. Let's
Cool.
let's pull up the old spin wheel, and we'll get another topic going. There's not many left. We need to bring it back up.
Yeah, fill that up.
Ooh, favorite foods right now. Ooh, this
Ooh.
is good because ever changing indeed.
Yes, palettes always changing over the years and every few weeks, especially right now with, I guess, a lot of people with lockdown, quarantine, whatever you want to call it. Everyone's changing what they eat. They're either
Yes.
cooking a lot more food, ordering different foods because they're bored of the same thing, or doing something else. Tom.
Okay. I don't know where to take this because I've got a few things. Got some old classics that just sort of reared their heads again, and some new things. So, I guess over the last few months, something I have sort of really taken onto is goat's cheese.
Goat's cheese.
Goat's cheese. Well, actually, different kinds of cheeses in general. So, paneer, halloumi, goat's cheese, sheep's cheese as well. Just there's a special name for sheep's cheese, and it's I can't think of what it is right now. But loads of different cheeses, like using them as meat substitutes and stuff. Not specifically goat's cheese, but like paneer and halloumi at least. You know, having breaded halloumi with katsu and rice and things like that. Just cutting meat out, and using different substitutes.
Yeah, I've actually been enjoying a lot of different cheeses myself. I picked up a random block from that a corner shop near here. But I've also been eating a lot of halloumi, plain with halloumi as well. And there's so many things you could do with cheese, and you could make so many desserts. You can make so many savory food, and
Yeah,
like you said,
just
meat
goes
alternates.
with everything. Yeah, living with a vegetarian, as somebody who used to eat quite a lot of meat before we sort of lived together, having halloumi around and stuff, just to throw it in a pan, you know. Oh, you know, let's do. Oh, what's it like a curry? For
Oh
example,
yes.
you know,
Mhm.
you just throw in halloumi or paneer instead of bits of chicken or something.
Yeah,
You know,
and
it's just interchangeable. You don't
yeah,
have
and
to think about it.
especially if it's like if you're making a spicy curry and you're switching out all the grains as well. If it's a spicy curry as well, the grains and then the halloumi sort of cuts through the spice. You can get all that nice flavor as well, but it also keeps the halloumi taste, the cheese taste. Whereas I guess with other meats, when you have a spicy curry, it kind of kills the meat completely. If you
Yes.
ever had that, where
Yeah.
you don't even know what meat you're eating anymore because the taste, the sauce or whatever it is
Yeah. You especially
thrown it
find that
off.
with chicken, because chicken is generally pretty bland. Uh, so that's I think a lot of curries tend to have like lamb and stuff in because it's a much more gamey
Lamb
taste.
or thin slices of beef. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you actually get the flavor through it? It can actually sort of stand up to the flavor a bit. Whereas like
Hmm.
chicken and even pork to an extent.
Yeah, like halloumi has a subtle taste, but then it's always there. It it's
Yeah.
it's it's like mozzarella's older brother. He's
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah.
more mature.
He's a bit more
You know, if you know,
mature.
he's a bit more. He's got a
He's
bit
got
more
got a bit
oomph.
more flavor. He's a bit more
Yeah.
held together.
Mm,
You know, he's had time to sort of develop.
yeah.
But I don't know, favorite food of all time
I
or favorite food that I tell you what, I have eaten lasagna for 3 days in a row.
different types of the same.
Ah, the same one.
Serious.
Yes.
What meat or
Yeah, it's a meat one. So for my birthday, my one request was I want a meat lasagna because I have not had one in 2.5 years probably. Because whenever I make it, I have to use corn or some other sort of substitute meat, or just a vegetarian vegetable one.
mhm.
Sometimes I've used lentils as well. That goes pretty well. but I wanted a meat lasagna. So she got me this family-sized one. I was like, yeah, cool, that'll do. So I had it for lunch on my birthday. I was like, yeah, I've eaten a quarter of this. That's food for the next few days, and I've just
Yeah.
slowly been picking off it. And today I finally finished it.
Have you noticed that thing, like, with certain foods or dishes, like, chefs will hate this, but, like, sometimes they taste better the day after.
Yes,
I
especially
don't know if
sauces.
it's, I
Like
don't know if it's because the sauces, like, dry up and go into the food more or whatever, but then it just tastes,
I
especially pasta
always
dishes.
find that with like red sauce pasta dishes, the next
Mm.
day they're always 10 times better.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you
Or
reheat them.
any tomato base
Yeah,
sort of things as well. Yeah.
yeah. Once it's had time to sort of. But again, like I guess the other side to that is that just because you haven't cooked it long enough the first time to let the flavors sort of meld together? Have you just not given
Well,
it time? Is that why?
there's also that if you eat it the next day, if you do have something cold, I guess it's also the taste there because I know like when you eat things hot or cold, certain tastes are activated. Like with ice cream, if your ice cream ever melted, the sugar is more in front of you because you have to put so much sugar because it's frozen. You can't taste the sugar. So maybe there's a different element there. If it's lukewarm, hot, or cold, it will taste different at every stage.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. But even like when you, sorry, looping back to lasagna here, even when
Mm.
you eat lasagna, like when it's warmed back up, like I'll just stick it in the microwave for
Yeah, of
three
course, yeah.
minutes, right? Still tastes better than the first time.
Yeah, it always does. Is that it doesn't even matter if you're cooking it fresh, it's a ready meal or something else either.
Yeah, yeah. Even if it's a ready meal, it's like the first cook isn't good enough, so you let it cool down and do it again. It's just like yes, there it is. That's what I was
Hmm.
looking for. That's the taste.
And it's not necessarily always dried up more. Not all the time.
No, yeah, yeah. It could still be like moist. Oh, I hate that word. It could still be
Moist.
moist. Still be dribbling, dripping
Is
wet.
it? Do you think it's? We prefer food that's aged.
Maybe. I prefer cheese that's aged.
Aside from cheese, because you said you had other foods that you like
Oh yeah.
recently.
Okay. So recently, God, I was literally about to say cheese again, but no. Seeds and stuff and nuts. I found myself eating a lot of that recently, like pumpkin seeds, toasted sunflower seeds and things.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I
Just
remember you were saying about pumpkin seeds. Yeah.
yes, and it's going back to curry again now as well. Um,
Mhm.
I made a curry with what are they called? Cashew nuts. So
Yes.
as a replacement for milk. So you add the cream in it. If you blitz them together, they form into like a sort of creamy type mixture when you blitz them with water. And then you use that as a replacement for milk or
Yeah.
cream.
Isn't that like? I feel like with curries and stuff. Am I getting it right? A satay sauce is cashew nuts,
I think it has. I think it has
so
cashew
it's
nuts
not
in it.
normal nuts. Yeah, but then that taste, cashew is just blended. It's just amazing.
It is. It is. I love cashew nuts. They're so versatile.
Mm.
And nuts in general. Like I've just found myself just whacking them in stuff for no reason. We're having a pasta dish. Let's just put some pumpkin seeds in it.
Yeah, and
For
sometimes
extra crunch.
sometimes not even the taste. Yeah, it's just the texture.
Yeah.
Just the change in texture is just like, oh,
It's
in
the
the
textural
curry,
difference,
it's mostly curries, but yeah,
especially curries
in
and
the
pasta dishes.
yeah, but when you get that extra crunch or whatever, it's always amazing. The only nut I will not eat.
Oh God. Sorry.
I paused for too long. That's
Yeah.
what made it more
Yeah,
worse.
it did.
It
It
made it
really
worse.
did.
Chestnuts, especially I think they're like, is it roasted or boiled chestnuts when they're sort of soft? Oh god, the taste. Mm-mm.
I don't think I've ever
Not
had
for me, man.
chestnuts. I've heard, isn't that like a Christmassy thing? Roasted
If
chestnuts.
chestnuts, I don't know, but if chestnuts are mixed with other foods, fine. Chestnuts on their own is a no-go to me. For me, it's like if I accidentally ate a cardamom pod. It's a sort of, it's like I don't want that taste in my mouth. It's too strong.
Yes, I've done that before. Especially
Cardamom
like
pods are not bad. Mhm.
because like sometimes I put them in rice
And you forget,
and you forget, and then
and
you
you
take a
bite
bite
into
and you
one.
bite into it, and it's just like this is.
I don't know
I
what's
like the
worse,
flavor that it gives off, but like
after they've like let the flavor out, or if they're raw, will it taste different? I'm guessing raw might be better. I don't know.
oh really? I was gonna say raw would probably be worse. It'd be more
Stronger
intense, a
taste.
stronger taste.
Mm.
Yeah, because I don't mind it when it's sort of let go of its flavor. I like the flavor of cardamom, but
Mm.
when you like bite into, it's like biting into. Have you ever had like a raw black peppercorn or unground black peppercorn, and you just
Yes,
bite into it, and it's like an intense sort of
it's intense.
yeah,
Bang.
it's like a bang, it's like a big spicy blast in your mouth.
Yeah, or if you have a coarse peppermill, or you set it to a coarse whatever one you have, and you crack it in, and then you sometimes maybe get pieces stuck in your teeth, and you
Yes,
slowly get a release for burning. Like, what the hell is going on? Or it gets you at the back of your throat and it stays.
yes, and it
Hmm.
grips you. Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from me and cheeses for favorite foods, what else have I been liking? I've been liking a lot of beef right now. Any form of beef. I've been liking a lot of white fish and tuna. Canned tuna, not tuna like proper tuna. I don't have the money for that all the time. It's quite expensive. But like tuna in sunflower oil, I think is it Young's or Prince's I get. Well, I don't know which one it is, but I've been loving that a lot.
You see, that's one of the things that I will never eat. It's tuna. I don't dislike the taste or the texture. It's just something I never have.
You're talking about canned tuna, right?
Yeah, canned tuna. Like tuna
So
as in like sushi tuna.
it's
I
fine.
want yeah, that's fine. I just never
So
got into
if
tuna.
so with the bad taste that comes from tuna is how it's stored. If you've got it in spring water, that's fine. If you've got it in brine, it's like a killer to the taste and the texture of the tuna.
Right.
But when it's in the sunflower oil, I'm guessing all the flavors of the fish come spread into the oil and it
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
back out, and it tastes fine like that. So like that is fine. But I bought them in brine and it was just horrible. It just tasted like a cheap tuna sandwich.
Right. Yeah.
It was that sort of. It's just like no real texture to it. It's just like
Yeah.
I'm not eating this much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Are we gonna do one last topic? Finish us off on?
Yeah. Let's finish this out. Let me just clear this off. So it's 50-50.
It's 50-50. What's it gonna be? I can't even remember what the last two topics are. So it's gonna be a surprise for me either way.
Oh god, that wheel looks strange. It looks like an iris.
Okay, here we go. Wheel is loading. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be. Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh, this is a good one to finish on.
Okay.
Where do we go? So let's say, should we make them separate ghosts and spirits in terms of like people like reincarnating and stuff, or
Yeah.
spook,
Let's
or
leave
like
that
bad
side of it out.
ghosts and stuff.
I
Let's
want to
just go.
talk about little girl at the end of the bed at night. You know that type of thing.
Okay.
She's got a severed head.
Have you had any weird experiences where you couldn't explain the situation or recreate something, but you know you weren't seeing it, you can't be sure? Anything like that?
Yes, I have. I imagined hearing like a voice, very loudly and very clearly, like saying my brother's name. But I was alone at the time. Now, that being said, you know this was many years ago. Looking back at it, it was probably some kind of hallucination, if I would say that. In general, to go to the whole subject of do you believe in ghosts? Not really. I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't just say outright no, but I do feel like a lot of the time, it could just be chalked down to they were just hallucinating. It's not actually there.
Okay. So I'm on the similar wavelength as you. I don't necessarily believe in them, but I know there are things that I can't bloody explain how they happened. There's not a scientific explanation that can fit that one scenario, and there's not really a ghost story or something that can be proven to fit it. It's just an I can't say that word.
Anomaly.
Anomaly.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, I
thank
said
you.
it wrong.
Yeah,
It
sorry.
it was
I
an
can't.
anomaly.
Yeah, it was a strange occurrence. I'll change how I want to say it. It's
Yes.
just a strange, mysterious thing, and there's no way to explain it. I had this when I was younger. So lights are off, and when your lights are off when you're younger, certain things take certain shapes. And when you turn the lights back on, you can see what was taking that shape, and I would move clothing or whatever so it wouldn't create that shape. This one time, I saw this shape, this figure, and it appeared like it was moving, but I assumed it was just me and my eyes were just adjusting to the darkness. But I was getting spooked out, and I said out to it, please leave, like, well, not today. And the shape disappeared. And no matter how much I turned the lights back on and off, I couldn't get the shape to recreate. And that freaked me out because I couldn't recreate what I saw
Mm.
through, even if I put the clothes back or something fell down, the shape was not there and the thing did not move towards me or look like it was moving towards me, however I positioned the lights or closed the curtains. That messed me up. And then most recently, where my room is, I have a chimney breast.
Yeah.
Um, and I was lying down, and as I went to lie down, starting to get ready to sleep, I heard this scratching noise. And I thought, I don't know what that noise is. Maybe it's something else. Get up and it stopped. And I went down again, and the scratching continued. And I got up, and the scratching was still there. I sort of copied the noise back, and the noise stopped, and I was like, oh my god, what is going on? And it didn't happen again after I copied the same noise.
Was it like late at night?
It was really late at night, but I was still awake. I wasn't tired. I was just getting ready to sleep, but I could clearly hear the scratching. And I tried to recreate the noises as well, and it wasn't the same at all. Anyway, it wasn't any creaking or anything else. So that one I couldn't explain it because I couldn't recreate the noise. And it's a sealed chimney breast, so it's not like a pigeon or something fell down the chimney and was scurrying or something, and there's nothing else there.
I had a very similar experience to this, but the outcomes may be different. So there was loads of scratching and stuff. It would happen periodically in the middle of the night, and I kept on. I told my parents, like, look, there's something scratching. It's like, there's nothing up there. What are you on about? What you want? You're just nuts. I was like, hey, cool, fine. Carried on happening. Then one night, my mum came into my room just before I was about to go to bed, and she bloody heard it too. I was like,
And that messed you up, right?
so, what do? We go up. Fucking squirrels up there, isn't there?
See, at least you found out what it was. See, that's the thing. When on other cases, it's like when it's like in certain situations, like, do I even want to know? Because the worst case scenario is it's a person or someone
Somebody
could
sat
be.
on your wall.
Yeah, yeah,
Dean.
yeah. Honestly, like, what if it was a supernatural thing and it was real?
And it's coming
Or
for
what if
you.
it is a person who's just out of their mind, just fucking
It's
in your
just
home?
messing with you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The other stuff that I have that's unexplained, when I don't know if it's because of my dyscalculia or whatever it's called, but certain things get misplaced, and misplaced in a bad way. Like, I folded some clothes, fresh from laundry, dried, folded them up. Then I was looking for my wallet. My wallet was in between the clothes. And the pile was fine. No one had touched it. But why would I put my own wallet in between the clothes?
Oh, yeah, but I do stuff like that all the time. And I think it's
I mean,
just because I'm an idiot.
I know, like, people misplace stuff, like put things by accident in the fridge. And there's one, when other people look for something with you, and they're usually better at finding it, and then they can't find it either, and something magically appears, and another thing disappears.
In such an obvious space as well.
Yeah, like I have a pair of hair clippers, and there's a number one blade and a number two. The number one went missing, and I had a number two, so I was using the number two afterwards, and I put it all back and sealed the bag. And when I opened it next for next like trim or whatever, number two was missing and the number one was there. And no one had touched the bag. No one touched it, and they just keep swapping. Every now and then they keep swapping, and I've emptied it several times. I've had other people empty it for me, and then it bloody changes by itself. I don't know who's fucking with me, or if I'm just fucking mental. I don't know what's going on, man. The other weird stuff you get is, I guess it's because of your hearing. I think everyone has this. Whenever you listen to a music track of sorts, sometimes you hear stuff, and you have to take back the headphones and like, did I hear someone calling me, or was there a noise? And sometimes you even change up the song, and then you still hear the same thing.
Yes, I get that quite a lot.
So if it's the same song, I can get it. But if I've changed it to a different, it's no longer bass or something, and I still hear the same thing, I'm confused. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah, it's especially like apparent when it's like a knocking sound or something.
Yeah,
that really gets me.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay, well, let's end today's episode here. Thank you all for watching. Please follow us on social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and check us out on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube as well, please. If you could like and comment, that would be fantastic. Please feel free to share about, give us some feedback. If you have any questions, maybe that we could put on the spin wheel, by all means leave them in the comments as well. We'll make sure to include them. And thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, thank you. And if you believe in ghosts or not, let us know. It'll be interesting to hear from you guys.
Would be indeed.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye. Ooh.
I'm leaving that in.